happened to the summer?
What summer?
What do you mean, what summer?
It seemed like it was just started and it's gone.
Well, it did seem like that, but it was a good summer. By the way, the last 4 days has been absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, warm. It's like, I don't want to say it's bathtub water. It's still a little refreshing, but the waves have been perfect. My daughter's been surfing. Little doopy-doo got up on her surfboard.
No way.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, Colin and Cody, my nephews, were teaching her how to do it. I've got
Put her
video.
on a longboard?
Proud papa.
Did you put her on? Well, she probably can surf better than you already.
She's on a beater. Yeah, she did. Well, hey, listen, I wasn't surfing when I was 6. I don't think I started until I was 10. What's going on, Scooter?
Nothing, man. Just I'm kind of like, it feels nice today. Like a little bit of
because the humidity's.
the humidity and just the temperature. I'm just I'm done with the heat.
So you played golf? What? You played golf the other day?
I played with my favorite accountant, the best, Don Devlin.
Don Devlin?
He played at a tournament for Coach Wilk, who was a big-time coach down here, a basketball coach down here. And they do it at Emerald Links every year, and it was a great tournament, great turnout, and we had a lot of fun. But it was hot. It was hot.
Yeah, it was
big
hot.
time.
I couldn't believe you're playing golf. You ran into Milt Thompson, huh?
Ran into Milt Thompson.
We'll get him on the show one of these days.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. He says, here's my number. Call me whenever you want. I just can't do it this weekend.
Yeah, I spoke with him when I did the Eric Holloway. You were supposed to golf with the Eric Holloway,
right?
The Cherry Hill PBA. He was there with Mickey Morandini, Tommy Greene, all those guys.
Yeah, seemed like a great guy. I felt bad he was kind of sitting by himself for a little while there, but seemed like a good guy.
I texted Mickey Morandini the other day. He was golfing. This guy's golf a lot, man.
Wow. And I said to him, what are you doing now, Milt? And he said, I'm retired. He was like the happiest guy in the world to say it.
So, Scooter, August 14th, we were all excited about baseball.
We were?
I was.
Okay.
Because they were in first place on August 14th.
Yeah.
All right? They were 2 games up. They had just won 8 games in a row or thereabouts. And boy, what difference does it 2 weeks makes, huh?
It's called a mirage.
It's unbelievable. They win 8 games at the beginning of August and they fall right off the cliff.
It's when you're in the middle of the desert and you see water and it's not really there.
Unfortunately, I think this team is fading like the summer sun. And I believe that for all, with losing of Reese Hoskins now with an abdominal injury, those core muscle injuries are hard to play with.
To recover
you
from.
saw him try to go to his right. The game that he played against the Devil Rays, I guess game 2, right? The ball went, or was that in the
Diamondbacks?
Was that in the Diamondbacks? Yeah. He goes to his right and he just falls right down.
You know what's funny? If you look at that closely, he started to go to his left a little bit, and then he went back, and that's when I think he just kind of laid down.
The ball was hit. It was a shot.
I know, but his first step was to the left.
Was it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
That close.
Look at it.
But he did go straight down though.
He went down.
I mean, he looked like
he didn't have the push.
He didn't have anything.
No.
And hockey players seem to get that injury more than.
Yeah,
right.
Because you're using that part of your body
Baseball
as a hockey
players?
player. Baseball players probably not as much, but the turning of swinging of the bat, it's all in your core and stuff like that. So
now here's a guy that comes back off what? He missed 14, 15 games. He comes back, he hits 3 home runs on a bum wheel, like core muscle.
Yeah.
So I guess it got so bad. Maybe he obviously did he did more to it on that play. Maybe that they can't just stick him in first. They need his bat.
Yeah, well,
they're going to try to win. They're 5.5 games behind the streaking Braves.
Yeah, they're on fire.
They're on fire.
The Braves are that great horse that sits back in the middle of the pack for a while, and then all of a sudden he sprints when he gets to the
jockey whips the last tail and he just takes off.
Just gone.
I'm shocked. I didn't think the Braves had enough, especially after losing Ozuna and Acuna.
God bless you.
Right.
They
lose those, and then they fill the gap. They find people to step right in, and they produce.
Yeah, like I said, they look like they were lost for most of the season, and all of a sudden they just come on at the end. But that's what good teams do.
The Braves are 8-2 in their last 10. The Phillies are 3-7, but they just looked horrible. You lose to the Diamondbacks. They come into town after waxing you out there in Phoenix, right? And then they come. You think they
probably should have lost last night too.
And the way they're losing errors, they can't hit.
I
Dombrowski said, and I heard it on Josh on the Sports Bash with Bob Wankel. Dombrowski about a month ago said, "That's right. We'll as far as the errors going and the shortcomings in the field and pitching, we'll just out hit everybody. We'll outscore everybody." Well, they can't even score runs against the worst team in the league, the National League.
They're 7th in the league in errors too, at 78.
Yeah,
so they're up there, and it's not a good recipe for winning. That's for sure.
Now we're going to talk today. with our good friend. He's a frequent guest of the locker room. Scott Eyre will be chiming in. And you know what I want to talk to him about, Scooter? Being like the players, they're not stupid. They see that Rhys Hoskins out there playing with three guys that really shouldn't be on a major league roster. I mean, not on a roster. I mean, starters. Torres, although I like Torres.
I like Torres.
He's batting like 260 now or whatever.
Yeah, but still, that's all right.
Well, it's not all right because they're not scoring runs. And then they got Jankowski and you're going to have to win and with Brad Miller. You're going to win the division with these guys.
Another guy that tied the game up in the 10th inning last night.
Brad Miller is something.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I think some of these guys are as good as what they think the other guys are. Really are. They just don't play enough.
No.
You know, if you don't play a lot, you know, and you and Josh before had said Torres is not an everyday player.
You know what Brad Miller's batting though? I mean, he was a hero last night, but he's batting 213, Scooter.
Yeah, well, so is Didi Gregorius.
Oh, big Didi Gregorius he's played on a World Series championship team. And
he's played on a great team.
He's got a good resume.
Yeah, okay. Well, resumes don't win anything.
But baseball players slump. Baseball's ebb and flow, right?
He's been slumping the whole season.
Right,
I like Didi.
I know.
I like Didi a lot, but he's not playing well, so you can't say because he's not for average. But Miller's had some big time home runs this year for the Phils.
So we'll stick to baseball here in the first 40 minutes.
They also got 3 guys on the COVID list too.
Right,
that's
right.
So that's not helping.
Okay, the Eagles played last night. Oh, excuse me. Did they play last night? Because none of the. I mean, the offensive line
scored some runs.
Let me ask you a question. Points. It's 31-31. Did you even watch the second half?
I did.
I didn't.
I
went to the baseball game.
I went back to the baseball game right when it was 24-23.
I went to the Deauville Inn last night.
Well, of course.
I talked to Chuck, and I saw Brian Greene there last night. And JR was there, the bartender. We're gonna have a big announcement tomorrow on the show, but yeah, man, I went there to watch the game. That's a great place to watch sports. They've got big screens everywhere. Have you been into the remodeled Deauville Inn?
I have not.
You need to get there, Scooter. It's unbelievable.
All right.
And the chicken wings are great. But they were always famous for their chicken wings.
Yeah.
Plus, they got a great seafood menu. We got a big announcement tomorrow. Pete Thompson and I do. But I was watching. So I was there for the first half. When I got home, you know, what am I watching? Like, I watched the Chiefs game the other night against the Cardinals. Excuse me. Kyler Murray played almost the whole half. Mahomes played. These are 2 guys you said that don't even need to play.
No.
And yet Jalen Hurts can't play.
They're proven quarterbacks in this league.
I don't get it.
Jalen, I don't like it. I think it's a waste. The Eagles should have just sat out the whole preseason, not played anybody.
I got into this with Mike the other day. Mike Gill. They're talking about how the preseason isn't it's not valuable anymore. That they don't want to.
Why?
I am totally.
Are the guys going to get hurt?
Because if you're predestined to get hurt, you're going to get hurt.
Well, yeah. What's the difference if you get hurt in the third preseason game or the first regular season game?
I guess because of the money, right? They don't want to. But if you're hurt, you're hurt.
Yeah, I don't care when you get hurt. If you're hurt, you're out of the game. So it doesn't matter. But the thing is,
the NFL.
What do we know about the starting? What do we know about the starting
anything.
team? We know nothing about them.
No.
We don't know if they're going to gel together. Oh, well, they played in a bunch of games in practice against, for the last 2 weeks against the Patriots and the Jets. Okay. So
see, I think they could have get a jump on their competition if at least the starters could have played a half last night. Because now we're going to go into the Atlanta game not knowing what to expect. No. And if they get off to a slow start, they're going to say it's okay because they'll use the regular season to prepare. So if you look at their schedule, and you said this on the way in, the first 4 games, they could be 1-3, 1-1.
I'm thinking the best record they are is 1-3.
1-3.
1-3. I think they lose to Dallas in Dallas. I think they lose to the 49ers at home, and I guarantee they lose to the Chiefs. So the game they could win is the first game against Atlanta.
So because this team isn't ready to go, I don't care what the coaches say. You need to get game experience. Like people say, when they practiced the Jets and they went hard, and guess what? The quarterbacks still wear a red jersey.
Right.
That means you can't what?
And the guys
you can't hit them.
The guys weren't even taking guys to the ground.
That's right. And when you're not in that game situation,
exactly.
It hardens you, gets you ready.
It's what the preseason is meant to do. It doesn't mean you're going to burn them out and play them, 4 quarters every game for 3 games. It means you're going to get them in there and get the experience of those guys playing together in a game type situation. Other than that, how can you even predict what the Eagles are going to do this year?
So we haven't
seen our starters.
That's right. We have Phillies talk the first hour, and we'll get to the Eagles because there's so much to talk about I have so many things that I want to bring up to you about the Eagles. We have Scott Eyre at the bottom of the hour. I want to talk about the dog days of summer. It's got to be hard on these players. I know it's a game, and I know we know professional athletes try to make it. Told us over the course of time it was a harder game to play. The professional ranks is a harder game to play than you think because of the travel and everything. But you and I both know it's like a country club, right? Wasn't the Penguins locker room a country club?
Well, when you
I don't want to interrupt, boys. Gardner Minshew to the Eagles.
What?
So
breaking news right here on 97.3. For who? Really? Here, my producers, he's paying attention. I love it.
Looks like a 6th round draft pick for Minshew, and it could go to a 5 if Minshew plays 50% of 3 games this season.
50% of 3 games? Gardner Minshew.
Wow.
So they're not obviously happy with Mullins.
You think? Jesus, he was god awful last night. The stats don't look too bad, but he was god awful.
All right. The first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts who will help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing for the shortest center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you. With 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA, that's Surety Title. For more information, call our good friend Ron Conklin, 856-988-8900. All right, when we return, we'll continue with more Phillies talk. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. All right, we're back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. How about that? The Eagles make a trade, Scotty McKay.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew.
So what is this to push Jalen Hurts? Is he going to be the backup? Maybe they have something in mind for Flacco going somewhere. Also, the Eagles waived Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah, that's just.
I thought maybe because maybe he never made a full recovery from that knee injury.
Right. And possibly they could just get him on the practice squad and get him healthy from there.
And you have Gainwell, Boston Scott, and Miles Sanders.
Kenny Gainwell played really well.
There's another guy, Miles Sanders. They play Miles Sanders. He didn't play at all in the preseason.
No.
Excuse me. And the guy can't catch the ball out of the backfield.
Right.
Don't you think you need to get him game situation so you can? Just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to me at all. That's what the preseason's for. I'll say it 1,000 times from now on. It's just something for them to get loose, get some kind of chemistry to going with each other, and for them not to do that is just. I'll tell you what, they're gonna have a Sirianni doll and they're gonna hang him from the rafters if they go 1-3.
Yeah, I mean, if they come out 1-3 and you know what, the worst part about it, they don't look good. Like if they look like they're out of sync, if they look like they need to, like they're.
Well, yeah, they got to tweak something. That's how you learn it.
Right, that's how you learn it.
Yeah.
You know what? When I played ball in high school and college, I mean, obviously it's a different time. I know Mike gives me a hard time. I get off my lawn type stuff, but we ran a play over and over a million times. The same play. We obviously we had a pretty big playbook. We'd work on 3 plays and just ad nauseum. So like as a coach, Scooter, if you do it over, it's like second nature.
Yeah.
So if you're in practice and you shoot a basketball, for instance, and you keep the elbow in, and you're practice shooting. So when you do it in a game, it comes natural.
Well,
second nature.
For the other reason, your coach probably figured you could only handle a couple plays. So.
And we didn't have back in those days. We didn't have the wristbands. We could put the plays on there.
Right.
We had to learn it all.
Exactly.
All right. I want to get. I do want to. Obviously, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about the Eagles today, but we do have Scott Eyre coming on at the bottom of the hour, and I want to get back to something I said to you before the break. Scooter, we've been around a lot of professional locker rooms, mostly hockey, correct?
Yeah.
Would you say could you live that life even though knowing the traveling and everything? Now, baseball players, I get it. They play 162 every single night of the week, almost, right?
Yeah.
And they're playing in the excessive heat, right? All kind of conditions that can wear on you.
Yeah.
Every day going out and playing in that heat, that can weigh on you. But basketball and hockey, that's like a country club, man. I don't want to diminish it, but come on, man. We sat they were sitting there in leather couches and chairs. And
but I don't think that's the way
they had a refrigerator full of.
You were the Penguins in the early '90s, and you had Lemieux and Yager and Kevin Stevens and Tocchet and Paul Coffey and Mark Recchi and all these guys over those last couple of years that are Stanley Cup champions. It is a relaxed atmosphere.
Most of the practices we went to, Scooter, were voluntary.
I've been in the Penguins locker room 5-6 times, and I've never been in the Flyers locker room during a game.
Right.
We're clashing beers in the Stanley Cup Finals, with guys coming in off the ice, But
what I'm saying, the grind, it didn't seem like remember Talk used to tell us, "Oh, Schweiner, you don't know what it takes." But we saw it.
There's 2 different kinds of country clubs. One, baseball, you're sitting half the game.
Well, that's if you're not an everyday player.
Well, no, even
if you're not an everyday player.
No, well, when your team's up at bat, you're sitting. If you're out in the field, the ball's not hit to you, you're standing.
But baseball players have baseball players to me. It's more of a grind because they're playing every single day of the summer.
More monotonous, I would say.
No, it's still they still got to go out and perform. But hockey players, what do they play 2-3 nights a week? The Penguins,
at least
when we
3,
went
maybe
the
4.
Penguins had optional practices most of the time we were there.
No, well,
yes, they did.
Not optional practice. They have optional practice on Sundays for the young guys and the injured guys. And Lemieux didn't practice. He sat in the jacuzzi, got a massage, and then he rode the bike. That was his thing. And then he go out and play on a 5-minute power play.
Right, and he scored a hat trick and 3 assists.
He was a different talent, that's for sure. But
I think the dog days of summer. I mean,
it's hot out there, and on that field, it's got to be frightening.
The Phillies they're 3-7 right now in their last 10 games. The Braves are surging. They just lost Reese Hoskins. They're human. And I'm going to ask Scott this. They got to look at the standings. They know what's going on.
Sure they do. I bet you it's a country club in Atlanta right now, but it's not so much in Philly.
It's not. I don't think it's a country club. Why do you, it's not? That's what I'm saying. It's not.
It's a country club in
it's
Atlanta
not.
right now.
No,
They're
it's
winning.
not.
Yes, it
They're
is.
focused, man. They're when you win,
They're having fun. They're winning.
right. They're
Listen,
they're having fun.
I still think it's ridiculous that the Phillies, who are barely a 500 club, are still wearing a hat every time they hit a home run. Listen, I like the fun part of it, but at this point, take the hat off. You don't, when you lose the game 7-2 and you hit a home run, you get a hat.
That's what I said last week. I said when Odubel Herrera, you're down 8-1, and Odubel Herrera hits a solo shot in the 7th inning, and he does his bat flip.
Right.
What's the point?
Yeah.
This is the same thing I'm talking about to Alex Singleton for the Eagles. They're playing a preseason game. He makes an open field tackle 15 yards down the field. If he doesn't tackle the guy, maybe he goes another 10. And he gets up like he stuffed the guy 3 yards in the back.
I think he's just an young, excitable guy is what it is. And that's the way he plays. You should like those players. That's the way you are when you scream and yell here. Right?
No, I'm excitable, but I'm not screaming, yell.
I think that's the way he is.
I don't scream. This is how I always am, Scooter. This is not an act.
Yeah, it is.
It is?
Pretty
much.
Is
an act? Really?
Mm-hmm.
My God, what do you bring
Somewhat.
that? How long have you known me for, you moron?
Well, you've been a moron your whole life.
Right, but this is how I always am. What are you talking
you're not
about?
usually this loud.
That's not true at all, man.
Is.
You're a moron.
Jesus.
The Phillies are, they got 35 games left in the season. They're down. Yeah. They're not. They got three. Like
35 games of torture.
Torreyes's and Brad Millers of the world. That's not going to get you. That's not going to get you a run. I think these guys look around. They see what's going on.
All right, let me ask you this. You had 2 games to watch last night, and you peeked back and forth.
Right.
If you had to pick one, what would you have watched?
Well, building for the Eagles game, I get excited. I get pumped up. And then when you turn the game on, you don't see any of the starters. It's kind of deflating. You watch the first quarter, and then I lost interest. I watched the Phillies game. But I was at the Deauville Inn, and they had all the big screen TVs. You had everything on.
Right.
Every other.
But if you were sitting at home and you had to watch
sitting at home,
one game, you couldn't go back and forth.
I couldn't go back and forth.
No,
oh, that's tough.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question.
Guess what? I probably would have watched the Phillies.
Really?
Yeah, because it's a preseason game. You knew going in. Cold shaking his head. Yeah, he crazy. You knew going in that the Eagles weren't playing anybody.
Yeah, but the Phillies aren't going to the playoffs.
You don't know that.
No, you don't. They're not going to the playoffs. Are you kidding me?
Did you know they were
How much do you want to bet now?
Did you know they were going to win?
How much do you want to bet they're not going to the playoffs?
Did you know the Phillies were going to win last night?
Did I know they were going to win?
Yeah.
No.
You thought they were going to lose.
And they should have.
So that's the excitement of watching the game. You don't know. And they still won the game.
You didn't even watch the last innings of the baseball game. So you don't even know what happened until you woke up this morning.
By the way, I think the Phillies, I saw somewhere the Phillies have a 16.7% chance of
winning the
division. The only way they're going to make the playoffs is they win the division.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
They're
16%.
They're god
so
awful.
Yeah, you can. It's
That's
easy for you to sit in the cheap seats and go. Yeah, it's anybody with half a brain sees.
Let me ask you this: have you gone to a Phillies game this year?
Yeah, I've been to 4.
4?
Yeah.
Really?
Have you?
No, I've been to 1. Why would I go?
Because you do a radio sports talk show.
Yeah, that's called TV. They have.
So what? You go down to the ballpark. You get the atmosphere.
Do you have a TV down here where you're staying at?
Of course I do. I got 2 of them.
Really?
Why?
Oh, I thought you were staying
dope.
You're staying like a boarding house, aren't you?
No.
Come on. You got a TV?
Are you serious?
You really have a TV?
You know where I'm staying? Yeah, I've got 2 of them.
I don't know where you're staying.
One in my bedroom, one in the living room. Big. Yeah. Did you get out of the wrong side of the bed or something? You're like more.
I just know you get your daily news.
You're more
every
stupid
day,
today than you have been.
And you do your.
You're more stupid today than you, and you say dumb things today. Usually you do, but now you're really saying.
Surprised you got a TV
because you know this is not an act. It's how I am. When I talk sports, I get fired up. Especially when I talk to you because you're a moron.
Right, and that's it. That's good.
By the way, your boy, Rumbos, Chris, keeps texting me. The Eagles are going to win one game, 2 games, 3 games. Here's a guy that
Based off what I've seen so far, by not playing anybody, I wouldn't bet any more than that. How could you say they're going to win 8 games when you haven't seen any starters play?
I still think they're going to win 8 games just from what looking at their roster, but I don't know. Man, we haven't seen these guys play.
You thought the Phillies are going to win more games by looking at their roster too, didn't you?
Not now, though. If you look with Janikowski, Torreyes, Brad Miller? No, I don't think they're going to win now. Now they get their work because their pitching isn't holding up.
No, and neither is their bats, and their errors are ridiculous.
Aaron Nola went 5 1/3 last night. Only threw 90. He threw what? 93 pitches.
Yeah, in 5 1/3.
He gave up 2 runs.
He had a good strike to pitch ratio, though. It was great.
He had 7 strikeouts. They didn't walk anybody.
Yeah, but how do you have all those pitches then?
I don't know.
A lot of must have been a lot of foul balls.
By the way, it was the Phillies' 10th walk-off win of the season last night.
Yep.
It was pretty exciting because I was up watching it.
I thought you didn't watch the end of the game, you said.
No, the Eagles, I didn't watch the end of the game. Do you have your Wheaties today?
Nope. Do you eat Wheaties? You eat probably.
I haven't had Wheaties.
You probably eat Lucky Charms or
something. No, I don't. I eat, Fruity Pebbles with my daughter.
Delicious.
Fruity Pebbles with my daughter.
I could imagine. Or Count Chocula.
You're a fruit. All right, the first hour of the locker was powered by Surety Title. When Scott Eyre comes on, I'm going to ask him about the dog days of summer, and maybe he might, if you do a job, you always make it sound harder than it really is, right?
This one's tough for you too.
Yeah. Right? When you work a job, don't you?
Well,
people ask you about it, you always
unless it's fun.
Right, this is fun.
Like what's the statement they always say? If you have fun at work, you're never working a day.
If you love what you do, you'll never work a hard day in your life.
Well, you think Scott loved what he did?
I think he did.
I'm sure he did.
But we used to hear Talk and complain about the grind all the time. He was playing in the NHL.
Well, that's a tougher sport. It's a 10
but they
times
don't play every day like baseball.
They play 4 days a week.
Who, the Phillies?
No, the Flyers.
The Flyers. They play. They might play 4 days.
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
They play 3 on average. They play on 3. All right. First hour of the locker was powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts that help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing, from the shore to center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you. 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call our good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. I talked to Ronnie the other day. He's having a great summer. All right, friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line, located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan or the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy being called a Maserati. Maserati, the main line, also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality like new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience is not at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the main line, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides a new Maserati loaner car. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati, the main line, today at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime at motml.com. All right, when we return, we'll talk with former Phillies pitcher Scott Eyre. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. in the locker room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. Scooter, we're talking about the dog days of summer, so I wanted to talk to someone that's lived it. We could talk about it, but this person's lived it. Of course, he was a part of the 2008 Philadelphia Phillies World Series championship team. Let's go to the Barb's Harley-Davidson Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room our good friend, Scott Eyre. What's up, Scotty?
What's up, Billy? How you doing today?
All right, man. We could be doing better. I mean, we don't get a chance to see our the Eagles played last night, but they didn't play anybody. And then of course the Phillies, the Phillies are just like mired in mediocrity at 500 right now. So we're just okay.
It was a good game last night, though. Good win.
Scotty, I wanted to get you on. Well, it was a 10th. It's the Phillies' 10th walk-off in a season this year, and it's their most walk-off wins in a season since they had 12 in 2013. So it was fun. I mean, that's always fun, baseball.
Oh yes. Sometimes not so much fun.
If you're the other,
give up the lead in the 7th or 8th.
Scott,
it's that time of year where everybody's starting to get a little tired. Little aches and pains are kicking up. Stuff you've been putting off for a while is like bugging you now, and that's why they call it the dog days of summer.
That's why I wanted to get you on, Scott, because you lived it. I mean, to explain to us, what is it like? I mean, and I was saying this, Scooter, here before we brought you up, that baseball, even though it's not as physical as like hockey or football and everything, or basketball, but your guys are playing every single day of the week in the heat. That's got to be a grind, man.
Oh, that's the difference. Hockey and football, they're all, grueling sports, but baseball is every single day. And if you're a Jimmy Rollins or a Chase Utley or a Cal Ripken Jr., think about that streak. A guy played every day for however many years. Playing every day is, it's for a pitcher, it's a little different. You get to chill in the bullpen, maybe not even get up a day. Maybe not even lace your shoes up, but if you're a position player at this time of year, so the big thing that amazes me is the guys that go off, like they hit 390 in the month of August or September with 15 home. Like, how are you doing that right now? You should be dead tired, but they're not. They just get it done and just go along with it.
Scott, the Phillies and baseball players in general. I mean, you see you're at 500, you're 3-7 in your last 10. And you see a team like the Atlanta Braves that are hot. What's the attitude like in the clubhouse? I mean, everybody obviously tries to keep positive, but you look around, you see that Rhys Hoskins is out, and your team makes errors. It looks like the with the Bad News Bears every other night.
Bad News Bears.
Yeah. What's it like? The players, they're smart. They're aware of what's going on, right?
Yeah, you're hoping that you have in that clubhouse, your veteran guy that keeps everybody positive. It's hard to do. And, we had some guys in 08, 09, and some other years when I was playing in San Francisco and things like that, guys that were just those high energy guys that come with that energy every day. Those guys are there every day. It makes it a little easier for, the guys that are, I'm a little dog tired today, man. I need some sleep, or I need a day off. And you get this one kid who's coming in screaming and yelling and having a great old time, and he fires you up. Every team needs that. I don't know who that is for Philly, but for right now, I don't believe they're out of it.
They're only 5.5 back, but the Braves are the Braves are tough right now. Scott, let me ask you a question. When you lose a player like Rhys Hoskins or like a star player, and they're not around in the locker room or the clubhouse every day, somebody obviously you lose. Like we've heard that Rhys Hoskins is a leader, one of the leaders.
Yes.
When you lose somebody like that, is it hard for someone like a backup or a bench player to assume that role?
I don't know if it's hard for them. I think they have to accept the role that they're in, and take the opportunity to take advantage of the opportunity given to them. Obviously Rhys isn't going to be hurt forever, but whoever steps into his role, whoever it may be, if they call someone up or just stick someone in for a while, everybody always says, you got to fill these giant shoes, or you gotta be yourself, play your game, do what you do, make a name for yourself while you get the opportunity. Especially this time of year, when, obviously guys, this is the time of year where a lot of guys go on the DL or start taking days off, and think, oh, hold on, stop, dogs. I'm in the bedroom. I got a cat over here going meow. And I got dogs barking every time someone goes by the front window. But it's one of those things. Obviously, I don't know. Is Reese not in the clubhouse, not with the team?
Well, he's going to have season-ending. He's going to have season-ending surgery. I would imagine.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And there's a couple guys that have COVID.
Yeah, now they got a couple COVID.
So he's probably staying out if he's having surgery.
He's probably can't. Yeah, especially before surgery. But it's different without COVID. Obviously, a lot of guys. You had guys that had elbow surgery or Tommy John or knee surgery, and they show up at the clubhouse and in the game as much as they can to do exactly what you said, to motivate their team and say, "Listen, look, my knee's in a cast. I can't even feel my toes, but I'm still here cheering you guys on every day. Let's go. Let's win something." You need that in the clubhouse, especially this time of season.
Yeah, Scott, it's Scotty McKay here. Listen, we're going to have Tommy Greene on today, but he's going to come on tomorrow now. He had a guy like Darren Dalton in the locker room. And
oh my God,
is there a guy on this team today that is someone like a Darren Dalton?
I honestly don't know if there's ever a Darren Dalton again, but
right.
I only met the man a few times, and oh my goodness, it felt like I knew him my entire life every time I met him. I don't know this new team as much. I mean, if anyone is going to be their boisterous leader, I would think it's going to be Bryce. Right. Because he is the face of the team and he is the go-to guy, and he gets the job done. He's been getting it done, in my opinion. But to me, he's got to be the one that leads. But I don't know if he's necessary. I don't know him at all. I don't know if he's the boisterous leader or the leader by example. We had in 08 and 09, we had Pat Burrell was kind of a boisterous type leader, but then you had Chase Utley, who didn't say a darn word.
Right.
Well, he led by example, right? I mean, he was one of those guys that leads by example.
Yeah, and you got to have both of those on a team. You can't have a whole team of yellers and doers and guys that are trying to get it done by talking. You got to have some guys that are quiet and just do their job. Chase was one of those, and I know there's some. I don't know what any of the Phillies guys like. I haven't really met any of the new guys this last couple of years.
Right.
They seem like a good group of guys. But yeah, you got to have both. You got to have the guys that are quiet and the guys that are loud noisemakers.
Yeah.
You got to have your Brett Myers on every team.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, Scott, you played for the Cubs for a number of years there, and you still hold the record for 33 consecutive appearances without allowing a run. But is it true that Lou Piniella called you Stevie for half the season?
He did. It wasn't half a season. It was during an. I had struggled. I'll tell you the story really quick. So I had been struggling, and I admit that I sucked actually for about a little while. And I got to go into a game, and it was against Pittsburgh, and I threw like 2 2/3 innings in relief, which for me obviously that was a lot. And I did very well. I figured some stuff out. Larry Rothschild was my pitching coach, and we kind of started to figure it out a little bit. And I had a good outing, and I believe that was one of the first outings I had to start that streak. But after the interview, I think we ended up winning in extra innings, we lost in extras or something. Anyway, and Lou Piniella's doing his post-game interview, and he's standing there talking, and Peter Chase was our media guy, and he's standing right next to Peter, and he said, some things positive about the game today. The negatives are the negatives, but the positive, we had the lefty, and he kind of mumbled that, Stevie, Stevie. And he looks at Peter, and I'm looking at the TV in the locker room. I'm looking at the TV, listening to him. I'm like, he's going to call me the wrong name. And he says, Stevie Eyre. He pitched really well today. And I go, oh, God. Dempster was across the hall and across the room, and so is Glendon Rush, and they both looked at me, and they went, Stevie! And so it's funny, I've told the story before. I actually had a baseball glove. Rawlings made me a glove with the name Stevie Eyre on it.
That's great. That's great.
So I pitched with it. I never said a word to him about the wrong name. He didn't. I don't know if he knew half the guys' names, or he just called everybody son. Hey, son.
Right.
Because
he couldn't remember anybody's name. That's why.
It was hilarious. I thought it was pretty funny. Some people told me I should have been mad. I'm like, what for?
Right.
Call me. Who cares?
Just call him Larry.
I was more happy. I was more happy I pitched well.
Right.
We're talking with Scott Eyre, former Philadelphia Phillies pitcher, the 2008 World Series championship team. Scotty, Stevie.
Stevie, yeah.
Scott, let me ask you a question. When you're in front of the mic, obviously, some guys will say what they're thinking. Other guys are more guarded with what they say. How are you? And do you think players should be a little bit more candid when asked questions?
As Kerry Wood once told me, I don't have much of a filter. Sometimes thoughts come into my head and I just say them, whether it's not correct to say. I'm not offensive or anything like that, but sometimes you should be a little less candid. But sometimes, man, you got to enjoy the moment. In my opinion, you're a big leaguer. You achieved a childhood dream. You're on TV, whatever you want to call it. You got to be a little candid once in a while and speak your mind. Some people do it more often than others. But yeah, I was told I didn't have much of a filter sometimes.
Well, kind of like Chase Utley. Chase Utley at the World Series celebration. Very candid.
Yeah, but that was very awesome. That was awesome. Go down in history. So yeah.
No doubt.
Well, the reason why I asked it is Brad Miller was interviewed the other day, and he goes, "I'm god awful." Basically, he said, "I'm horrible right now." He was being honest. Like, how many times you hear players saying, "I absolutely stink"?
Right.
I actually said that when I was in Chicago when I was struggling. When he called me Stevie, and I did. I said, I said, well, he probably doesn't remember my name because I suck right now. I mean, I don't know if that's, but to me, tell me, like, isn't that what Philly fans want to hear? They want to hear.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. They want to hear that he knows he sucks right now. We don't have to tell him.
The great thing when you were bad, you could say it was Stevie's fault.
Stevie sucked.
No, but the reason why I say this is because I think Philly. I think when the fans hear players say, "I stink, I blew it," like get mad at themselves, I think it's a little bit more endearing to the fans, right? No, to the fans like that.
Oh yeah. Well, I had an incident in Philly in 09. I came in against the Nationals and gave up. Oh God, it was awful. When I walked the first righty I faced, gave up a homer to the lefty, which was Brian. Anyway, it's irrelevant. Walked the next righty, then gave a homer to Adam Dunn, righty, and then walked the righty. I walked 3 righties and gave up 2 homers to lefties before Charlie could get somebody warmed up in the pen. And I walked off the field and I got booed. You know, rightfully so. I sucked, but I can't remember the reporter. I think it was Mandy was her name. One of the reporters, and she said something. I go, before you even ask, yes, I suck today. You know, I get to go back out there tomorrow. And all the reporters started laughing. Zalecki was there, and I remember it. And they started laughing, and sure enough, Charlie put me in the next day, and you know who I faced? The same 2 lefties.
Did you get them out?
And I got them both out. I got them both out the next day, and I got a flipping standing ovation.
Right.
So,
because.
So Scott, let me ask you this question then. So when you do give up, like have an outing like you had, you do want to get back in there the very next day.
Oh yes. And a lot of managers will, a lot of managers wouldn't put you in the next day to face the same guys you just gave up 2 bombs to. But Charlie, he was that guy that just said, "Oh, this is my guy. I'm going to right now."
Yeah.
I think JC was out at the time too, so I was basically the only lefty down there that I remember. Might have had Tashner there at the time. But yeah, he put me back out the next day, and I got them both out and walked out the field thinking, "Oh, that went great! Yeah. Thank goodness."
Gotta have
because
a short
if they'd
memory.
given up 2 hits again, I might. Huh? Oh yeah, you got to have a short memory.
Yeah.
So one last question.
It's a long memory.
One last question, Scott. So right now the Braves are 69-58. Like I said, they're 8-2 in their last 10. The Phillies are 5.5 behind them at 500, 64. It's August 28th. Like. They have to make the Phillies have to make a move right now. I mean, they have to start putting together some wins, or it's over with.
Got to figure out how to score some runs for Mr. Wheeler. Yeah. I was just looking up his stats. I'm like, holy crap, the guy's 10-9 with a 2.9.
Right.
He should have more. He should have more wins than that. But it is what it is.
All right, Scotty. Listen, man, we really appreciate you coming on, talking Phillies baseball with us, and told us about the dog days of summer because we're definitely in them.
No, yeah, man. It's going good.
All right, there he is.
Figure it out, I hope.
I appreciate it, Scott. Thank you so much. You're a great friend of the show. We really appreciate having you on.
Thanks, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, there he is, Scott Eyre on the Barb's Harley-Davidson Sports Hotline. Dog days of summer are tough, man.
Yeah, but like you said, for the pitchers, it's not as bad because they're not pitching every day and they're resting, don't even tie their shoes some days.
Right, but the core 8.
Yeah, the guys that are playing every day, and hey, listen, now that Hoskins is out,
right?
They were planning on having, Realmuto play first base probably, but now Knapp is out, is positive with thing.
Right.
So, and Bohm didn't do too well at first base
They got
before.
Marchand on the roster.
Marchand's going to come up to play catcher, but they're moving guys around, and that's not, it could be a spark in some way, but when you think, I mean, we didn't even mention that, Dombrowski just got rid of Scott Profrock. He got rid of Brian Manetti,
Right.
the assistant GMs, and they got rid of Josh Bonifay,
Yeah, they made
who was their player development guy. So they moved those guys out because they're not happy with their.
Well, they're the same type of team every year for the last 4 or 5 years.
Well,
6 years.
look at the guys that they've picked: the Scott Kinnerys, the Mickey Moniaks, the Adam Hazeys, guys that have struggled in this league. Alec Bohm now struggling, right? You know, Reese Hoskin and Hector Neris are probably the only ones, and Aaron Nola are the only ones from that group of picks.
All right, the first hour of the locker was powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. From the shortest center city and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you. For more information, call our good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of the private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events that seems to fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give them a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll wrap up the first hour of the locker room and get to the Eagles talk right here on 97.3 ESPN. All right, we're back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. Hey, usually this time we do the let's go to Reds Jersey Mex, but Red Toner is a little busy right now, so I want to remind people, if you're looking for the best Mexican food in Ocean City or anywhere else for that matter, go to Reds Jersey Mex in Ocean City, New Jersey at 11th and Haven, 609-399-2272. We go there often, Scooter, and we love the hard shell tacos.
Yeah, I always get it. I don't stray too far.
I don't stray.
I
I
find
get in
something
there,
I like and I get them.
but he's got Diego down there,
Right.
and his crew does a great job.
Maddie and all the.
But you know what the best part about his tacos? He stuffs it with meat. Like you go to some of these taco places, they give you
Yeah.
nothing. It's all lettuce, tomatoes, and
Right,
and
all the stuff
guacamole and all that
cheap.
stuff. Not him. It's the other way around. He puts all the meat
Loads
in
it
it.
up. It's the best place around for sure. I've had down here. It's great.
By the way, the Turtleheads will be playing at Caroline's on
Yeah.
Sunday. So when you get down there to see Red Toner, he's a rock and roll star. He's our star, but he's busy right now.
That's right. He's a busy guy.
He's a busy guy. He's making the tacos.
Making the tacos.
Get down to 11th and Haven, Reds Jersey Mex for some tacos. 609-399-2272 for takeout, or you can eat in.
Yeah.
All right, first hour's in the books. When we get back, we're going to talk a lot of Eagles football, and I can't wait to see this guy's reaction over here. Scotty McKay will say something stupid, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I'll join into your conversation.
You looked at it? Did you look at the stats last night at all?
Who needs stats?
All right. The Locker Room with Billy Schweim right here on 97.3 ESPN and the ESPN mobile app. We'll be back to talk Eagles football next. All right, we're back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim, Scotty McKay, 97.3 ESPN, August 28th. And football's getting ready to get started. Eagles finished their preseason with a 31-31 tie. Obviously, the score and the stats don't mean anything, especially when the players aren't playing, your starters. But, Scooter, we're ready for the regular season.
Are we?
Are we?
I don't know.
I mean, we didn't see any starters. What do we see? I think we saw a total of maybe 1 or 2 plays, 2 series from the starters the whole preseason.
Yeah, we haven't seen it. This team is in no way good enough to sit players with a brand new coaching staff and them not knowing what needs to be worked on or improved upon. I mean, that's what the preseason's for.
Right.
To get a look at these guys in real game situations, not practice where they're not even tackling guys to the ground, where they're not even hitting guys and guys are wearing red jerseys. I don't understand. I don't get it. And I'll tell you what, Sirianni's going to take the heat for it from this.
Well, I just hope
town.
it doesn't come back to bite him in the rear, because we're looking at the schedule. You alluded to it earlier that they got Atlanta, San Francisco, Dallas, and Kansas City in their first 4 games, and we don't know what to expect out of this team. I mean, why does Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City play a whole half, and you're telling me Jalen Hurts can't play?
Who I think they know how good he is.
Right. They don't need to see what he can do.
But they're doing it. Now, it's a big Andy Reid thing. He's always been about playing his guys, his starters, and giving them some time. But I think that's every team should do that. Nick Sirianni doesn't know enough about these players to say that they're going to be good.
I just don't get it. Hey, let's open up the text board. 609-403-0973 is the text board. What do you think? Should the starters played more in the preseason? 609-403-0973. Should the Eagles starters play more in the preseason? Now, last night, Scooter, it rained. You said it rained like what, 4 inches or so?
4 inches in an hour. The most rain in an hour in New York or in North Jersey ever, they said.
Right. So they can't control the weather. Obviously, they didn't want to take a chance with people slipping and sliding on the turf, but it's their last preseason game. I don't think the Eagles, look, I projected the Eagles to win 8 games. Chris Rummus and you and a lot of other people think they're going to, and even Vegas, the over and under 6. So if you have a new coaching staff, you're not basically a new quarterback with an older offensive line, don't you think that you don't have 4 games to waste. You got to win them all right away. Well, and I know it's not how you start, it's how you finish. I get it. But if they get off to a 1-3 start,
I think it's exactly how you start. I think it's this season's got to get off. You know, after a 4-win season last year, how long do you think the fans are going to take before they start hanging people?
Right, man. Remember last year, obviously with the COVID, there weren't any fans in the stands to boo these guys.
No, there's going to be a lot of guys there.
I thought because the fans weren't in the stands, the players wouldn't. Not that they weren't trying harder, but when you have people booing, you heard Scott Eyre. He said he deserved to be booed,
right?
And it probably lit a fire under his ass.
Yeah. Wow. Listen, I think the preseason is also good to see the guys that you're not sure about, which I thought Kenny Gainwell had a great game last night. I thought he ran the ball hard, and I also thought Holyfield kind of ran the ball really hard and got a lot of.
Holyfield had 60 yards.
Yeah,
18, and he ran the ball 16 times last night.
Yeah. But he looked tough. He was getting through the line. He was making good moves. But I don't know. It's just like the scary thing is that you're rolling the dice on these guys. That a guy that's played 4 games in his NFL career, gone 1-3, and I like the kid. I think Hurts is going to be a decent quarterback. To not play him, I think he's setting himself up for failure, Sirianni. I really do.
I do too. I mean, I don't know why, as a rookie coach and a younger coaching staff, maybe they're being told from higher up.
Well, it's possibly. You always believe that. I think that.
But look at Miles Sanders. He's a perfect example. Miles Sanders can't catch the ball out of the backfield.
Right. And he knows it.
He needs to get in game situation where he tries to catch the ball. He knows he's going to take a shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, you can go through the quarterbacks have a red jersey on against the Jets up there in practice. That means you can't hit them.
Right.
So when a quarterback isn't being hit, he knows it in the back of his mind. He's it's different from the real thing, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, Mullins will tell you that getting hit last night when he threw that ball right late, he felt that for sure, and it probably changed his thought for the next.
So Gardner Minshew comes to the Phillies, to the Bird's Nest. What do you make of this, Scooter?
I think Joe Flacco's on his way out of here.
You think?
I think so.
What are they going to get for Joe Flacco?
I don't know.
And Flacco didn't play. I mean, he hasn't done. He's actually
they'll
done pretty
get
well
something
for the
for a guy that could be a
Flacco
he's
looked
probably
good
one of
last
the better backups. I thought he looked good last night. I thought
Well,
he
look,
really did.
he
But he
could
played
probably-
against one of the worst teams in football and their backups.
Right.
So I'm not giving him a whole lot of credit, but he looks like he's never wanted
Well,
to
who
come
do you
here.
think's better right now, Gardner Minshew or Flacco?
Well,
I mean, Flacco's got a ring.
yeah, age-wise, Gardner Minshew.
Well, obviously. What do you think, Colton?
Yeah, if you're looking for a veteran backup, it's Joe
He's the
Flacco,
guy,
and
right?
he's looked good, like you said, throughout preseason. So to be fair, Joe Flacco's your veteran backup, especially when you got a young quarterback like Jalen Hurts. I think it's a perfect match.
How about this? What if they're setting themselves up for down the road?
What for sending Chicago for Nick Foles?
Nick Foles. You know who was pushing Nick Foles? Our boy Marcus Hayes at the Daily News last week.
Yeah, well,
Big article,
you
big
can't
picture.
fault for what he's done here.
Man,
Come on, man. What?
Nick Foles.
He's as good as Joe Flacco.
But like I said though, one question for you both. I think Nick Sirianni gets a pass for last night because of the weather.
rain.
Because
All
of the
right,
weather.
I'll
I
give
think
you
they
that.
didn't want the starters to go
If
out there
that
and
was
get
the
hurt.
reason.
Then why did
That's
they
what I
play
think.
last week? Just because Jalen Hurts couldn't play, they could put the offensive line needs the ball. They need to
Right.
get time together.
I agree.
I'm
I
disagreeing
totally
with.
agree.
That's my only excuse for last night. That's the only
Well, and
idea
I-
that
and
I
I
The
have.
sad thing is whether they use the radar or whatever. I heard the decision not to play the starters was long
way
before the rain.
Yes, I
long
agree
before.
with that.
Now, did they look at the radar and say, "Hey, it's going to pour like crazy here"? The weatherman can't predict the next 5 minutes, let alone 3 hours from now.
There's a profession where you can you get it right 30% of the time, and you're smart.
Right, you're as good as a baseball player.
Yeah, that's right.
If you're
Right,
hitting
you're 3 for
300,
10.
you're a star.
You're an all-star.
Right.
I mean, and then Kerryon Johnson gets waived. Now I know we have a lot of good running backs on this team. I like Gainwell, Boston Scott, Miles Sanders. They're going to get. I think those three guys are going to get a lot of time. And then
You
Holyfield
got
looks
Jordan
pretty.
Howard too. So
And Jordan
good
Howard.
for him.
He didn't play last night.
No,
He didn't even dress.
I
I
know.
don't think. The receiving core, J.J. Arcega Whiteside. I mean, he had a couple good catches.
Yeah, he looked probably better than I've seen him play in his career so far last night.
So
Broke a
you
nice
got
tackle.
a Whiteside, Fulgham, Hightower. Those guys all stick with the Eagles, I think.
You think?
Yeah.
I'm not a big Hightower fan.
Greg
He
Ward?
looked better
Greg
last
Ward?
night. I think Greg Ward sticks, but I think Devontae Smith, Rager. Rager's got to have a big year, or he's going to find himself on the trade block too.
He played last night. Didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't play much though.
He got one catch for 18 yards.
Okay, great.
Right?
Yeah,
You're not impressed with him?
I was
Scotty,
I was
impressed with
happy when
himself?
they picked him.
Scotty, you impressed with him?
Yeah.
How you doing, Scotty?
Are you impressed with
Are you
him?
all right?
Are you impressed with
How
the
you doing?
one catch for 18 yards? Are you impressed with that?
How you doing, Scotty? You all right?
Jesus. Listen, I don't have to scream.
Do you ever
smart.
cheer when you go to a game? Do you cheer? Do you clap?
Not often. Only when it's a great play. I don't clap for the guy that catches the ball in center field like you do.
When you go to a hockey, you used to be a season ticket holder for how many years?
28.
When you stood in the stands, you clap, whistle,
Not
or you just stand there and observe everything?
a regular.
You don't show
goal.
any emotion. do you?
Highlight goal, I do, but not a regular goal.
You stand up when they score.
Yeah,
Like people, when they score, everybody goes like this.
Yeah.
What are you doing? So with your hands in your lap?
No, I go good play, nice play.
You
I watch hockey,
He does.
Billy.
You know what he does? He does the golf clap like this.
I watch hockey.
No emotion.
You get excited when a guy makes a pass because you could never make one.
When you watch Belichick on the sideline when they've scored touchdowns, he doesn't celebrate. That's you to a T.
Oh, Tim.
Belichick just sits there.
Could you imagine-
Players
I
behind him
expect it.
going nuts?
I
Could you
expect it
imagine
from
going
my
to a
players.
game with Scotty McKay sitting next to him? You
See,
probably-
I'd be quite the
Imagine
opposite.
going with you, jumping up and down the whole time.
That's what you're there for.
No, you're not.
Well, yes, you are.
I don't
man.
wear jerseys either.
I don't either. But
I don't wear
I
jerseys.
wear t-shirts. Like I have my when I go to an Eagles game, I wear my Eagles green. I'm all eagled up.
I wore one hockey jersey in my life.
It's proper.
Well, because he gave me with my name on it, which I would have rather had
Proper
his name
jersey
on.
in the studio.
Yeah,
like that.
and he says, "You gonna wear it at the game?" I said, "Yeah, I'll wear it at the game." That was it. I wore it once, and that
That's
was
because
it.
you got a bromance with him.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
Guys,
It's called a
right.
friendship.
They did
Maybe one day you'll get
Colt,
some
you know what
friends.
they did with him one time? The Courier Post on Valentine's Day did an article of bromances, and they had him and Brian in a heart.
It
You
wasn't in
and
a
a
heart.
bromance?
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Wow, you and a bromance. Who would have thought? Not me. Who would have thought?
It's called friendship.
No,
Long-term
The
friendship.
paper had like it was. Can you
It
picture?
wasn't
It
a
had a
heart.
heart,
It was
And it had
not
you
a
guys
heart. You're a
picture in
goof.
the heart with
Yeah, listen.
bubbles coming out of the heart.
You would have been in there by yourself because you can't find a friend.
I've met you a few times. If someone were to tell me who is that, I would never believe that would be you. Never would
Oh,
believe that'd
listen,
be you.
No,
I
it
called the
was.
lady. I said, if you do something weird with this article, I'm going to go after you. And she
Well, it was
did.
pretty weird.
It was weird. But it was about friendships.
Yeah,
It was
sure.
about long-term friendships.
That's right. That's
Now,
right.
Billy, that's why your long-term friendships, you didn't even get invited to your buddies' weddings.
Which one's that?
Talkets.
Oh,
None of those guys. You get invited anyway. You didn't go to the bachelor party in Toronto. You missed out on a lot of
Yeah,
stuff
I
because
did.
you're a
That's
dope.
a low jab right there.
Yeah,
Jay.
you
You
go.
got to go for the
That's why I got
feelings
them back
there.
though, because when they flew out, like I was pissed. And when I didn't make the cut, these guys were on their way.
You
to
weren't
Tor-
even
they-
close
they
to the
were,
cut.
They were on their way to Toronto, and it was him and Proper getting on the plane. I could see their heads in the. I'm outside loading the aircraft, and they're their golf bags. And I go, oh, I say like this, see, and they're going, no. They're looking through the window like you. So I drove the bags away, and they were like, they thought I was gonna keep them off the plane and screw them, but I doubled back and put them in the back so they couldn't see it.
Oh,
They were freaking out.
you got him. You got him.
Yeah, I
you got the
Yeah,
last
you
laugh.
got me.
I
Yeah,
did.
we were laughing in Toronto the whole time that you weren't there.
All right. The second hour of the locker room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course, enjoy fine dining experience, lively atmosphere in the pub. The food is excellent. For more information, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. When you get down there, say hello to Radio Ron Ralston for us. He's always down there. Kevin Kelly, Scott Dunn.
I won a foursome to Great Bay
No, you did.
at the tournament the other day.
Oh, my
Yes,
God.
I
What did you
did.
shoot?
We were 12 under. It was a scramble.
Use the
We got
rubber
second.
wedge. Use the rubber wedge.
No, I used the wedge that puts it right next to the pin.
All right, when we get back, we'll continue our Eagles talk. You're listening to The Locker with Billy Schweim, Scotty McKay on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schweim, Scott McKay, 97.3 ESPN, the mobile app. So, Scooter, look at the defense, the starters, the projected starters. All right, defense we think is going to be their strength this year, right?
It's much better than it was.
And
if they can stay healthy.
Brandon Graham, Javon Hargrove, Fletcher Cox, and Derek Barnett / Josh Sweat.
I think
you look at their depth chart, that's what they have it listed.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, you know what, and getting not off the defense for a second, but they played the Jets last night. There's been talk about the Jets need a left tackle, and I thought Andre Dillard played very, very well last night. He was getting out and making blocks down the field a little bit. Hopefully that's a show for them to possibly make a move, and I don't know what the Jets got to give us.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We've suffered so many injuries. You can't afford to give up on anybody on the offensive line because these guys, they don't last the whole season.
Well, there's got to be somebody.
They're worried about them on the depth chart. I mean, they won't let them play in the preseason.
Right. Well, but I don't know if you can get something really good. I would consider it.
Where'd my depth chart go?
I don't know. Got depth charged.
Darn it.
Jeez.
So,
all right,
the linebackers, Wilson, Singleton.
Right.
And who did I say the third linebacker was? I can't.
Edwards.
Edwards.
Yeah.
They're the question mark.
Well, but they're a lot better than they were.
Because the secondary is a lot better than what it was last year.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I agree. And again, it's all going to come down to the health of this team, like any team in the league. It's not it's Captain Obvious there, but we're good if we can stay healthy, and we're not so good if we can't, because you've seen what the second and third team guys have done so far in the preseason.
Steve Nelson, Avante Maddox, who's, by the way, or Darius Slay and Stevie Nelson on the corners. Kevon Wallace, kid from Clemson, who I like.
Right.
Because I watched Clemson play a lot 2 years ago, and I liked him.
Yep.
I thought he was a great pickup where they got him. I think like in the 4th or 5th round. So he was a good pickup.
I think the corners are one of the best duos in football. If you look at it, what Steven Nelson was,
right.
On paper, what you look at, what Steven Nelson was in Pittsburgh the past few seasons, and what Darius Slay is, and what you traded for in Darius Slay. Those are two of the best corners in football. So they clearly have upgraded the secondary, which was a huge question mark last season.
And then Anthony Harris. Anthony Harris is like, no, you had asked me about the other safety.
I did.
Yeah. You remember his name?
You mentioned.
You remember his name, Scooter?
You mentioned the other safety. I didn't ask you about him.
I
told you Anthony Harris should be on that list, and you said
because he's not even on the depth chart.
Who was
the Rodney McLeod?
Oh yes, I did ask you about what's going on.
You asked me about
injury.
Rodney McLeod.
Right.
He's not even on the. I think he's on that.
He's still
list
injured. Yeah, he's on the PUP list. So I heard he might not come back till 6-7 games in the season, which is he would be an upgrade.
So offensively, once again on paper, you got Devontae Smith, you've got
Jalen
Reagor, and they've got Greg Ward here penciled in as a third wide receiver.
Wow, above Quez Watkins.
Yeah.
Well,
Quez Watkins is supposed to be having a great camp.
He is having a great camp. I think Greg Ward, they're thinking, is more sure-handed guy and makes those plays that you need, maybe a slot guy. But I like Quez Watkins' speed, and I like the way he catches the ball.
That doesn't mean they're not going to use him, no.
No, they will.
I think it's just sure-handed is Greg Ward.
By the way, they have Quez Watkins and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside on the second team. So that's probably an indication that he'll make the team. Right?
Yeah, I would think he makes the team.
Travis Fulgham. He's backing up Devontae Smith. So they're your six receivers, right? You'll go with 7 receivers.
No,
those are your guys.
They're your guys. I'm looking, and this is right off the Eagles website.
There's just really not a veteran there that you can count on. There's a lot of young guys. So, and you got Hightower's not on the depth chart at all.
All right, I'm getting a text. Let's open up. Let's give out the text board 609-403-0973 if you want to chime in with some Eagles conversation. So make some points to us. We'll comment on them. 609-403-0973. Your boy Rumbus just texted.
He did.
Yeah. He wants us to pick who's going to win the division. He says, how does the division end?
It's a good question.
Pick first to last. Well, I think the NFC East has had a different division winner the last 15 years in a row or something like that.
It's not been the same very much. But I'll tell you what, I almost said it.
What?
The Washington football team looks pretty good. They've upgraded a lot of players, this year.
They're going to win with Fitzpatrick as their quarterback.
The guy's a gamer, man.
I don't think he's ever been in the playoffs.
No, well,
they got a great defense.
They do. They got a great defense.
I think the Redskins' defense is better than the Eagles, but the Eagles have potential to be better.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Ryan Kerrigan either.
Yeah, Ryan Kerrigan.
He's still banged up, so he should be a big help to
this defense. He'll be ready to go.
He's going to be the Long of this team.
Howie Long?
Yeah, or not Howie. It's Chris Long.
Chris Long.
He's going to be the Chris Long of this team. In my opinion, he'll be that guy that comes in on those third downs and he just plows people over. So
who's going to win the division? I mean, the Cowboys, the dreaded Cowboys, the Giants. I don't see the Giants.
No, I don't see the Giants doing anything well. But I think.
But you know how the NL East this year going into Major League Baseball season, the NL East was projected as going to be one of the toughest divisions, and as it turns out, it's probably one of the weakest.
Yep, and the NFC,
right? I mean, with the exception of the Braves, the Braves are putting it together, but the same thing could happen in the NFC East.
Yeah,
in football.
I don't think
people thinking this division is going to be weak. You're not going to see anything come out of it. You don't know. That's why they got to play the game, Scooter.
Exactly.
That's why they got to lace them up.
That's why they added a game to the season. Make
That's
it more
crazy.
difficult.
You know what? I don't like it. 17
That's
games.
money. That's all it is.
That's all it is. But I mean, you can't go 500 anymore.
No, well, you can. Right. 8-8-1.
8-8-1. That'll happen. That could happen.
That could happen.
They tied last night.
Yes, they did. Did you see that play that they tied it on?
Nah, I didn't watch the second half, dude.
Oh, that's right. You're watching the Phillies.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, it was a 6 seconds left. The guy threw a 60-yard bomb. 7 Eagles in the end zone. 3 Jets. And the guy catches the ball. Flat out catches it. For the Jets. Flat out catches it. Doesn't bobble around, hit 3 guys, and he grabs onto it. Flat out catches it.
And you're taught to knock it down.
Yeah.
Just knock it down.
They're all standing behind him going, did you just see that? I mean, and they
that's not a microcosm of the season.
Well, luckily it wasn't the starters, but who knows what the starters can do.
It just burns me up that we didn't get to see Jalen Hurts.
I agree.
I mean,
should have played a half.
Especially when you see Patrick Mahomes, MVP of the league.
Yeah. And he's playing. That's an Andy Reid.
Kyler Murray playing.
If Andy Reid was coaching his team, he would have played last night.
Fitzpatrick in Washington. I saw him play.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott hasn't played any. He's been hurt.
Yeah. He's still coming back. He's not healthy.
I just don't get.
Do you think that Dallas finishes ahead of the Eagles?
I don't know. I really haven't gone over the Dallas roster that much. So even in my fantasy picks, I won't pick any Cowboys.
I mean, Dallas,
even if Dak Prescott or
Dallas has got one of your favorite players.
609-403-0973 is the text board. You want to send us a text? You got a couple text messages over there?
Yeah, we got one over here.
Right,
I think it's just for you, Billy.
Yeah.
This one over here. Hold on. Where'd it go?
I think it was Nick from Brigantine, right?
Yeah, I got to find it for you. Hold on.
My favorite listener.
Yeah, he's always. But, I just don't. I don't know. I don't want to say the Eagles. I sound like. I'm a homer. Look, I'm a homer. But I don't want to say we haven't seen them in the preseason.
Here we go, Billy. I got it.
All right, here you go.
So, Billy, I picked your team in golf 2 weeks ago. Should I look for my T-shirt or did you get my beat? Nick from Brigantine.
All right. Here's the thing: the Pete Thompson Billy Schweim challenge has been postponed to a later date for 2 reasons. Number one, Chief had to go to St. Louis, or he had to come back from St. Louis. He wasn't able to come on that day.
Right.
And then Pete was not available on that day either. So we're going to have to move it around. But we're going to get this done.
Well, I
but
have a
Pete made a big
play it where Chief won't be available.
Pete made a big mistake. He went out golfing last week, and he even texted you. He shot a 98.
Yeah. So now he's not getting any strokes.
So he's not getting any strokes.
But he's getting coaching from me, so he's
another
going to be
text.
better.
Got another text from Dan from Egg Harbor Township.
The
least of the East will be like last year, won by the team with the least injuries.
Well, you got to in every sport, you got to stay healthy.
Yeah, but
I mean, that's the key to winning. Stay healthy, be available. We had Merrill Reese on last week. He said your availability. These players got to be available to play, right?
Yep.
609-403-0973. Send in some text messages about the Eagles. We'll discuss it on the air. 609-403-0973. I like to answer the question. You guys think it's an easy question to answer, but obviously the coaching staff didn't think so. I said, do you think the starters played enough in the preseason? 609-403-0973. Of course, we're going to say no, but the coaching staff thinks they did.
This team has more questions than answers. That's the problem. And we don't really know how this coaching staff is going to handle some adversity that they're going to run into this year, because they certainly are.
All right, the second hour of the locker room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course or enjoy fine dining, and the lively atmosphere in the pub. For more information, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Somers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. Friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line, located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan or the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the main line, also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality like new Maseratis available on the market. But your experience does not end at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the main line, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides a new Maserati loaner car. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati, the main line, today at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime at motml.com. All right, when we return, we'll continue with more Eagles talk. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. All right, we're back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. Hey, Colt, you got a couple more text messages?
We do indeed have a couple more text messages here on the text board. Dan from Tuckerton, maybe the Eagles didn't play Hurts to better evaluate the backup situation, which ultimately led to the trade with the Jags for Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, but I mean, the only thing I can see is they get rid of Mullins because he's looked pedestrian at best.
Right.
And then Minshew.
Is Minshew going to be being your third
I know,
quarterback?
It doesn't. Unless, obviously, this move, if they made this move, obviously there's something else coming. There's got to be.
I would think so. They got to be moving somebody.
Unless, like I just said to Colton during the break, I mean, it can't be that Jalen Hurts is hurt or anything. I mean, we haven't seen him play at all.
No.
We saw him play two series in the first preseason game.
Well, you didn't give up much for him. You give a 6th-round pick and possibly a 5th if he plays, 50% of 3 games. But,
he's not better than Jalen Hurts. Minshew's not better than Jalen Hurts.
I don't think so.
And Flacco's your backup, unless they're getting ready to move Flacco.
I could.
When you think of a backup, you think of a veteran.
Right.
I agree.
Right.
I agree.
Especially with a guy like Jalen Hurts is young still, so a veteran like Joe Flacco, like you said earlier in the break, has a Super Bowl ring. So he clearly knows a thing or two. He's been around the league. He's won the AFC North a few times. I think it's more of a battle with Minshew and Hurts. He's young.
Do you see that, Scooter?
No.
I don't see that either.
I'm not a big fan of Minshew to begin with.
Oh, he's kind of
as a backup. I'm okay with him, but I'm not a big fan of
that '70s mustache going.
I mean, you also got to figure he played in Jacksonville. Right. Jacksonville also finished with the worst record, so their defense.
And by the way, you see Trevor Lawrence? He was getting killed the other night.
Well, a perfect example though is with Jacksonville. Why didn't they see him as a good backup?
Who?
Jacksonville.
See Minshew.
Yeah. Why did they get rid of him for a 6th-round pick?
Right.
I think
they didn't think a lot of him. Apparently,
I don't think he's. That's a weird move. I mean,
it is odd.
I think the name, the Gardner Minshew. He's got. He came on. He played well for 8 games.
He played well for them, and they also sat him because they wanted to tank.
Right.
So that tells you they could have won some more games with him in there.
Right.
And he's younger. That's why I think this might be another move to see if he can push Hurts or even take Hurts' job because. When you look at a veteran backup, they already got one. So I don't understand the trade for Minshew here, other than that reason.
Maybe to push Jalen Hurts? I don't know.
I don't know at all.
All right, so let's look at the Cowboys schedule, and then we'll look at the Giants schedule because, you look at the Cowboys schedule, they open up against the Buccaneers on Thursday Night Football. So that's a tough game for them, Buccaneers, right? Then they got the Chargers. Then they got the Eagles on a Monday night game. Then the Panthers, Giants, Cowboys have the Patriots after that. Then they have the Vikings, Broncos, Falcons, the Saints. Anybody worried about the Saints? I don't think the Saints are going to be that good this year.
Well, they just named their quarterback, their starting quarterback for this season now. I'm sure Taysom Hill's not too thrilled about it, but it is what it is.
He's not a starter.
But Jameis Winston, Jesus, it's been god awful his NFL career. After coming out of college,
that's the funny thing about him. He has talent.
He does.
He
it's not refined talent though. It's like wild card talent,
right?
Like he can look great, and then all of a sudden he can look like the worst quarterback in the league. So
I think it was also the offense they were running there in Tampa Bay.
Be.
I think it was just get it down the field. Our defense is awful. You got to put up 40 points.
Right.
Well, Tom Brady had no problem with it.
So the Cowboys have the Cardinals on January 2nd. So the Saints, there's not too much difference in the schedule. The Vikings, I don't think we see the Vikings. So that might be the difference that we have every team in common.
It's very similar to the Giants schedule too.
Anybody stand out for you, the Giants? So they
play Denver and then Washington. Then they play Atlanta, just like the Eagles do. New Orleans, like the Eagles do.
Do they play Tampa Bay?
They do play Tampa Bay, and right before the Monday before Thanksgiving.
Also play the Rams.
Play the Rams. Play Carolina. So they play Kansas City like the Eagles do. They play Vegas though too.
Well, we play the Raiders.
Yeah.
So the Cowboys don't play the Raiders.
No.
So they're the schedules are pretty similar.
Very similar.
I mean, they're not.
So it's not like somebody's got
like
this
one team like everybody says,
schedule
the Eagles got the real easy schedule.
Right. Well, if there it's easy. Everybody else is easy.
It's not easy. None of these games you got to play.
Eagles' schedule is not going to be easy for them at all.
It's not going to be easy for them.
Trust me.
I mean, I like their defense. I like the offense, but they're a question mark. We don't know what they're going to do.
No.
We don't know if they're going to be able to stay healthy.
No clue. I mean, like I said, their offensive line is one of the better in football when they're healthy. Obviously, they moved on this year from our big left tackle, and I think Mailata is going to do a good job there.
He looked great when he did play.
Yeah, absolutely.
609-403-0973 is the text board. Chime in. Give us some Eagles talk. 609-403-0973. Did you see enough from the starters to make – I mean, I can't even make a prediction with this team, but I think they're going to win 8 games only because I think they've improved themselves offensively, defensively for sure. I think their defense is actually – right now, you look at it on paper. We just went over the starters. Their defense is significantly better than it was last year.
Yes.
So that's 4 wins right there. The over and under is 6.5.
They're going to be close to the under.
No.
Yeah.
They win 8 by accident.
Really?
Yes.
No way.
Cole, no, you think so?
I think it comes down to Jalen Hurts. Like I said, I think the quarterback play for this division is huge for where it goes. Dallas's defense is awful.
Right.
So we saw them put up 40 points at the beginning of last season when Dak was healthy, and they lost a lot of those
right,
games.
And they lost.
So I'm not really scared of Dallas. It's Washington, the Giants, and if the quarterback plays good from Jalen Hurts, Philly's right up there.
And you made a good point, too, Daniel Jones. If he plays well for the Giants, because the Giants, I mean, they got Saquon Barkley, they got offense, they got a run game,
and they added some key pieces.
And they've improved their offensive line. And next week we'll break down. We'll go over each roster of each team right before the start of the season. Next week we'll break that down, Scooter.
All right.
So that's your homework assignment.
Are we doing each team, or are we taking two?
No, we'll do
each?
We'll go over each team's starting lineup next week.
But are we
next
taking
Saturday.
2 each? Like,
well, whatever.
Take 2,
you do your
two?
homework. I'll do mine.
Well, we know that you
'Cause
don't
you
don't do homework, so. You read the daily news.
I graduated from college.
Did you?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, I got a
degree.
I got a diploma.
Do you?
It says,
come on.
I got courage.
You got it. Yeah, you got courage. You got it out of the back of a magazine, your diploma.
Okay.
I got one from Yale, too.
No, you don't. 609-403-0973 is the text board. Give us some Eagles comments. We'll talk about it. 609-403-0973 is the text board number. I don't want to say, like, people, Rumbus has hit me up. Who make a prediction? I'm not ready to make my prediction yet.
All right, next week we'll make
But next week I will.
After we go over.
But right now, I mean, I don't see any one team running away with it. You can't sit here and say the Giants with Daniel Jones as their quarterback is that much better. I mean, the Giants improved themselves for sure. But they're not.
Every team improved themselves this year. Washington certainly did. The Eagles did. The Giants did.
They picked up 2 offensive linemen.
They picked up Kenny Galladay, receiver from Detroit, who was probably the best on the market.
Right.
They picked up Adoree Jackson from the Titans, who's one of the better.
No, but what about they drafted a couple offensive linemen? They drafted need, didn't they? I thought they.
No, their first round pick was Kadarius Toney, wide receiver out of Florida.
Right.
But they picked up Thomas in the draft last year. Solder's back this year, who opted out. So they did get a little bit better.
Right.
But yeah,
but once again, it comes down to Daniel Jones.
Correct. And just like with the Eagles with Jalen Hurts, in my opinion.
And it's such I don't know what this Gardner Minshew thing means. I don't know what it means.
You have another text about Gardner Minshew.
Let's hear it.
From Dan from Egg Harbor Township again. Minshew was out of Alabama, then transferred, and he did really good with the Jags with no talent around him. He's interesting to me.
Well, he's interesting, but I don't know. I mean, it's obviously that he's going to be pushing Jalen Hurts. And because Flacco's your backup.
Correct. This is why I'm looking into this a little deeper than just backup, because he's young and he played really good for Jacksonville and they sat him. He had like a little thumb injury and he was sitting there like, I could play, and they didn't want him to play because they wanted Trevor Lawrence. So that's why. By the way,
so I watched a little bit of that Jags game last week. He got killed, man. What was Monday night? He got crushed.
Yeah.
He took some big shots. He's playing. He played the preseason game.
Yeah, the number 1 overall
Technically,
pick.
Jalen Hurts is a rookie quarterback. I mean, he's his second year, but he only played 4 games last year, Scooter.
Yeah. I don't like
Trevor Lawrence was their number 1 draft pick, and he played almost the whole first half.
Yep. And they're not. I don't know why these guys are afraid to get these guys hurt. You got to play the game.
Play devil's advocate. Zach Wilson did not play last night versus the Eagles.
He didn't. So 609-403-0973 is the text board. Chime in with some Eagles talk. I want to remind people that the second hour of the locker room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour, 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course, enjoy fine dining experience, lively atmosphere in the pub. We love their the food is there. It's great.
Yes, it's great there. The sausage soup.
The sausage
they
soup
need to make that a daily thing.
Make that a staple there.
Yeah, not just once in a while.
For more information, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. When you get down there, say hello to Radio Ron Ralston for us. He does a great job. Ron's a good guy.
They're a great guy.
All right. Kevin Kelly's down there.
Kevin Kelly's down there.
Scott Dunn's down there.
Scott Dunn's down there. There's a lot of guys there. Ryan Owens down there. A lot of guys down there.
That's a great place.
Coach could be down there.
How's Coachy doing?
I texted him, but I haven't heard back.
Yeah, we got to text Coach. He had a surgical procedure.
Yeah.
Well, we hope Coach is doing well.
Yes.
By the way, when we get back, let's talk a little Flyers hockey, because through all this, the Flyers, Chuck Fletcher's still moving and dealing
making moves, man,
making moves and signings, and
I know
doing all kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I'm a little confused about the last one.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get back.
Dark Bassard, but interesting.
All right, just about everybody here has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunick. Were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia, South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give them a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll talk a little Flyers hockey. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN. We got a few more minutes left in the program. Scooter McKay, you want to
I want to
shout out?
I want to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Jeff Henney, who's a loyal listener, and his father passed away on Wednesday, and they were really close. So we want to give a shout out to Jeff and our thoughts and prayers from 97.3 ESPN, his whole family. So Jeff, we hope you're hanging in there, buddy.
All right, and we got a bunch of text messages now, Colton. Let's read them off.
Yeah, you got quite a few on here. You got a text here. Hey, John from Cape May. I think the Birds are going to trade Hurts in a package to get Watson.
See, I don't know. He's not going to play this year, is he? I mean, he's got all these legal issues.
Oh yeah, so does everybody else.
But, so does everybody else.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Yeah, there's lots of guys that have legal issues in here. There's lots of guys that have legal issues in this league. You kidding me?
You say the dumbest things.
Really?
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott doesn't.
That's why I have you on the show, because you make me look like a genius.
Well, listen,
you're so
you've
stupid.
never looked like a genius.
All right, what do we got?
You have Pat from Sea Isle. Do you think this move shows the Eagles are not sold on Flacco as a backup? What a waste of $4 million.
I think no. I think Flacco is this is something else. I think this is something else is brewing. It's not with Flacco. What did you just do?
What did I do? I didn't do anything.
Doorbell or something. What are you doing? Stop
that.
Him
over here.
He's
a frying pan getting hit
he's
over your head. You're a stooge. You're the fourth stooge.
It doesn't even sound like that, though.
That's what it sounds like.
Right.
When it hits
Give me another one, Colton.
You got John from Cape May. I think the Birds are going to get a trade with Hurts and a package to get Deshaun Watson.
See, everybody thinks that this is the direction they're going to go with this. I don't know. I just don't know, man.
Well, he's going to get suspended, I think, from the NFL.
I think he's got legal issues. You want to get involved with that?
We've been famous for grabbing guys with legal issues, over the years.
Michael Vick was the only one, right?
He was the only one.
Well, not only. Well, the one with the biggest.
He was the one with the biggest issue, yeah.
And
that worked out, didn't it?
But he had already paid his penance.
But that worked out, didn't it?
He already served his time.
Well,
he gave back.
Would you take Deshaun Watson on this team?
I would, but not right now. You don't know if he's not going to play.
You're going to wait until somebody else gets him, or you won't be able to get him. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
somebody's going to take him.
You're really rolling the dice, dude.
Well, Houston could play him this year, and he might be suspended for 6 games, but maybe that's why they bring Minshew in.
All right, Colt, you have one more. I know you're okay. He's so. Listen, I don't know. This Minshew thing is throwing a monkey. I don't know. It's I'm perplexed.
It's daily. You're perplexed. It's a weird. I think there's got to be
something
else
going
with it.
Something's going on
because he's not going to want to.
I hope Howie doesn't try to overthink this. I would like to just go. So they don't have any confidence in Jalen Hurts, maybe. Well, we have 2 Texans that think that it's something bigger coming with Deshaun Watson. That means they're not sold on Jalen Hurts.
Well, we haven't seen him. I'm hoping they saw him so far. So maybe they're not.
I mean, there's no other reason. I mean, unless you're gonna have Gardner Minshew.
But why do you get Minshew if you're going for Watson?
I don't know. No, because that doesn't make sense either.
Because now you're going to get Watson, and you'll have Flacco, and you'll have Minshew still. That doesn't. Minshew doesn't want to be a third-string quarterback.
I think Flacco is going to be your backup. He's there as a backup.
I am more of a thinking that they're going to move Flacco. I don't think for a guy that grew up in Audubon, I don't think he ever wanted to play here.
Why do you say
he
that?
Never looks like he doesn't. You've tried to reach out to him how many times to get him on the show?
Go ahead, Cole.
So we just had a caller call in here, and his thoughts are on the matter of the trade. The Eagles are going to trade Joe Flacco to Atlanta because A.J. McCarron, who was the backup there for Matt Ryan, got hurt and he's done. I believe he has like a serious knee injury. He's done.
Really? I didn't see that.
So he thinks the Eagles are trading Flacco there. So that's something else.
And what are we going to get for that?
Probably like a 6th-round draft pick.
A box of donuts and
pretty much what you gave up to get Minshew.
Who knows? They're desperate. They need a backup quarterback. Desperately, because you
just gave up a 6th-round pick for Minshew, so you basically traded Flacco for Minshew.
Why did Jacksonville just do the deal with them? You know what? Why did
right.
Atlanta go right? Why did he just go right to Atlanta?
Correct. I think this is more something else.
I agree. I think Flacco's going somewhere. Is what it is.
I don't. I just don't know. Who knows with Howie Roseman? What's going on there?
I don't
Any
know.
more? We have one other text message. I think you said or no. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Scooter. It's interesting, and obviously something's coming down the road. As far as the Deshaun Watson, I think you got to wait. Do you get him and then see what happens, or you wait to see what happens and then get him?
Well, you can't wait on that. That's something you
What
have to
happens
make a
if he gets
decision on.
indicted and he can't play at all? Are you going to roll
I
your
don't-
dice with that?
I don't think he's going to get as much trouble as everybody thought he had. He's got a million
Like
people
12
saying
women are
that
out
they gave him massages
Cuomo.
and nothing ever happened, and then some
No
saying that
happy
they
endings.
are. I guess not.
That's illegal too, you know.
Is
Go ahead.
it?
So John from Cape May also added on with his text about the trade for a package. He said, have Minshew play till Watson's legal stuff is over, is what he thinks on the matter.
A lot of interesting speculation,
Yeah, but you can't wait on Watson
you
because someone
wait
else
on
is going to grab
Watson?
him.
I mean-
No, you can't wait. You got to be the guy that's going to say, we're going to deal with this. We have good enough information that he might miss 6 games.
So if you're Jalen Hurts, what are you thinking right now? If
Uh,
you're Jalen Hurts, what are you thinking?
he hasn't been named the starter yet, has he?
No.
So who knows?
All right. Well, it's remains to be
Would
seen.
you be happy if he missed 6 games and you had Minshew or Flacco play until then? If you knew you were going to get Deshaun Watson,
If I knew that Deshaun Watson was allowed to play after 6 games, definitely, then I'd do it.
Okay.
I'd make a move. Wouldn't you, Colton?
Yeah, I would if you're guaranteed. Like
If you're guaranteed, but there's no guarantee.
So I'm not trading for him until stuff is clarified on this
Absolutely.
end.
Wow.
All right.
Then
Wow.
then you're going to have to get in a group with 20 other people saying we want him now because it's all clarified.
All right, we got coming up next. We got the Daily Wager football preview coming up, college preview. We have the Yankees and the A's at 3:30 today. Of course, the Philadelphia Phillies play Arizona at 6:05 tonight. Kyle Gibson's on the mound.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Phils will get a win. Hopefully the Braves will lose. I'd like to see if we can continue talking baseball a little further into the season, but if not, our Eagles are right there.
And then the Flyers are coming
And,
up,
oh,
and the
we
Sixers will
get
be going to
Flyers extended.
Yeah. Oh, Flyers
I got
extended
beside-
Sean Couturier
Couturier,
for
you got
8
that.
years
All right.
for, geez, it was like 52
Thanks for
million.
making the locker room part of your Saturday, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with the Schweiner. I'll be back tomorrow with PT in the studio. Rich Gannon and Tommy Greene's our guest. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.